Men, here's like the lesson you need to learn. It's your fault. Women are not the problem in marriage, you are.
Isn't it true that the prosperity gospel has a problem in that it treats Proverbs as though they were vending machine guarantees?
Right.
Like you do this and you get your product.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's something I just think when it comes to like the servant leader concept and complementarianism, it does seem to have an analogy to that in that if something is wrong in your home, then it's always that you've been leading poorly. And it's like if you lead well, things will go right. Whereas I would say that if something is going wrong in your home and you're the man, then you need to make it your responsibility to like do something,
to address
whether or not it's to blame or not. But I don't think it's like, okay, how am I leading wrong? How am I not? So it's like I'm not being enough of a servant leader. So I think we always are looking at we're not being enough of a servant leader, and that is somehow the reason why our wife has this mysterious malaise, and like we're going through a rough patch in our marriage. So that seems to be. That's what I call a prosperity gospel-ish view that seems to look at it as the husband's leadership is the determinant factor in how everyone else behaves, which I don't believe is the case. And that they may not be explicitly stated, but it is all but explicitly is stated in some cases.
What I would tag there is the prosperity gospel's problem is that it's a simplistic analysis. So you have something go wrong. You didn't start wooing your wife 3 days ago, or according to you didn't do what this book said to do, and it's just a simplistic snap judgment. But when you say why did I fail the test? Well, you didn't study.
well, it could be it could be your fault. I'm not saying that it means it's not your fault.
Right.
But this guy Justin Buzzard, he wrote this book called Dating Your Wife. So I read it several years ago, and he's got a famous quote in there. It's like, men, here's like the lesson you need to learn. It's your fault. Women are not the problem in marriage, you are. Right? Men are the problem, men need to change. And it's change the man, change the marriage. And to me, that was just like the encapsulation of sort of the complementarian view of how things work in the home.
Everything is wrong with servant leadership. Everything is there.
Well, that's this in terms of the prosperity gospel aspect of it. I think it's overlay like it's always something you're doing wrong. And so again, I'm a believer that if there's something going on, within my circle of responsibility, then regardless of how it got to be that way, then I need to act. Okay, so I think that's a valid way to put it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the blame is somewhere in the way that I've been leading. So it could be. I mean, I could be screwing up.
Yeah.
That's a possibility, but that's not the guarantee.
So you're distinguishing, if I take you rightly, between responsibility and blame. So if something erupts, let's say a husband has been a dutiful, perfect husband, and he goes to work and something goes south at home, some disaster that he had nothing to do with. He was praying for his wife all day. He was sweet to her before he left. There, in no way, shape, or form could that debacle at home be blamed on him. But when he comes in the door at the end of the day and he's confronted with a grease fire at home, who's responsible? Well, he's got to say what he's got to lead. He's got to take responsibility, not in the sense that this is all my fault, but this is my home.